I have a great idea. It's a 10 times great idea. You know, the biggest, most badass way that we could revolt and rebel against big, corrupt business interests that profit in one way or another by poisoning us or the planet or doing something that's just ill will and they make money from it. The biggest, most badass way to revolt and rebel against all that garbage and that nonsense that hurts us is this. You start building up your immune system gently on a daily basis. You no longer need medications safely with your doctor's approval. You start buying the healthier, more organic foods that don't have a chemical company involvement in them or a pharmaceutical company involvement in them. It's not just like one industry like the big pharmaceuticals. A lot of them are tied together harmoniously, poisoning us. This would rein in the big pharmaceutical players, insurance companies, hospitals, the entire medical community. It would also rein in big food, big agriculture, chemical companies, anything that makes a genetically modified organism, which is like a million companies, just that alone. It would just it would revolutionize the planet as we know it. And every aspect of our lives, our culture, our societies would get better and we'd feel better. That's it. That's the one thing. So what do you do to do that? You start buying the better foods. You line up your dollars, like where you spend your money, with what your values are. And here's what's happening. This might be a little hard to hear for some of you, so please just have the humility to hear it, please, because affects all of us. But what most of us typically do is we'll voice our frustrations over these big giants, these big companies, these big industries that are profiting, making us sick. We're all on the same page. They're corrupt, they're doing bad things, they're getting away with it, and they keep making tons of money on top of tons of money. But where's all that money coming from? It's coming from people. It's coming from consumers like you and I. So they see us voicing our frustrations. They see some of us protesting and picketing, and they see some of us like, oh, that's so cute. Look at all those guys and girls down there. They're so cute, thinking they're going to make a difference by protesting and voicing frustrations and making Facebook videos and YouTube videos like this one here, right? They're like, aren't they so cute? They actually think they're going to make a difference. That's how the big businesses are looking at you who are frustrated. That's how they're looking at it. And it's like, because we're frustrated, but at the same time, we're buying foods that are treated with chemicals from those same companies that we're frustrated with. So we're frustrated with them and we think they should be reined in and all these other things, but at the same time, we are lining their deep pockets to be even deeper than they already are. That's reality. That's the truth. So they don't care about our protests. They think we look like a bunch of clowns. And honestly, we kind of do look like a bunch of clowns. To say one thing and do the complete opposite with how we spend our money and what we're voting for. Every dollar you spend is a vote that you cast. It's saying, give me more of that. You don't buy organic food, you're basically saying, give me more big corrupt business profiting by making us sick. Give us more of that kind of profiting by making us sick, managing sickness, perpetuating sickness, and curing people of nothing. When you don't buy organic, for example, that is a major one. That's like one of the most common things that we do, or we perpetuate that problem that we say we're frustrated with, which causes them to look at us going, oh, they're so cute, those clowns, whatever. They take all that money, they laugh at us all the way to the bank. You're familiar with that expression, that's an old one. They laugh at us all the way to the bank. So the only way we're going to make a difference is by spending our money differently and rewarding companies that are making money in ways that we agree with, right? By spreading health and quashing sickness and protecting the land and being good stewards of the planet and things like that. And when we do that, we're also going to get healthier. We're going to feel better. Our immune system goes up. We're going to need less medications for many of us, if not all of us, but most of us are going to need eventually no medications. We start thinking better thoughts because it's our thoughts that is the beginning of all of it. So we have to change how we think, and then we change how we eat, how we spend our money, how we spend our time, build up our immune system, and that is the biggest form of rebellion, revolt that we can have against the evil, corrupt, big businesses that are hurting us. The ones that you say you're frustrated about, but you continue to line their pockets to be deeper than they already are. I mean, when you think about it that way, which is the truth, is there anything more dumb than that? Is there anything more self-sabotaging than that? to bitch about something and continue to be part of that problem, fueling that problem, it's completely dumb. So hear that with some humility, please. And if you know somebody who would like to hear this message, if you believe this message should be perpetuated to cause that worthwhile revolution, please share this video. Get this message out there. It needs to be out there. 8 out of 10 people, out of every 10 people, about 80 to 90% of everybody right now dies of a chronic disease, and most of them have multiple chronic disease. It's the way that it is. Very few people die peacefully in their sleep at a ripe old age, the way that, we think of as normal. That actually isn't normal anymore. I mean, I guess it could be normal, but it's not common. That's what I mean. So it's normal to die peacefully at an old age in your sleep without having to spend like the last years of your life in a hospital bed. Hardly anyone passes on that way these days. Most people, the last half of their life, they're rotting away. Things get worse. They lose mobility. They need medications. And they're in hospice care, and they die of multiple chronic diseases that are completely needless. And that makes a lot of companies very stinking rich. Just the pharmaceuticals alone profit $500 billion a year on managing sickness and perpetuating sickness while curing nothing. Nothing at all. They have no financial motive to do it. We don't give them that financial motive because we act like a bunch of clowns. Total miscongruence between what comes out of our mouth and how we spend our money and how we spend our time. So, gosh, we are a bunch of clowns. So we got to stop that. Seriously, we do. And our future generations, gosh, they kind of depend on that, right? So, yeah, perpetuate this message. Share it. And I've also got my website if you care to visit it. It's tombirkenmeier.com. TOMBIRKEN as in Nancy, M as in Mary, EYER.com. tombirkenmeier.com. Get the word out. It's not me. It's not about me. It's not even about you. It's about the message, the bigger picture of things. Share it. Get the word out. And hopefully, on some fluke, this video will be one that goes viral because the message is important. All right, guys. Oh, one more thing I'll throw at you. The number one spike in demand for casket makers is for short, wide caskets because our kids are dying. They're no longer expected to live longer than their parents for the first time in the history of the world. And we have kids as early as the 4th grade with intermedial thickening in their carotid arteries because of what we're spending money on. That makes a lot of corrupt companies very stinking rich. You get a diabetic by the age of 25, then that person 25 on will make about $2 million just for the pharmaceutical industry alone per person. You get a child on diabetes. Now we have this epidemic called childhood diabetes. That's about $3 million. All of you are a cash cow for the pharmaceutical industry. Their goal is to help you and me die as slowly as possible because there's so much stinking money in it for them. How sick is that? So why are we fueling that? Why are we buying anything that isn't organic? Why aren't we building up our immune system every day with how we think, our activities, and what we put in our mouth? Why aren't we doing that? Don't you? Okay, you got the point by now. So, share this video, get the message out there, perpetuate it, and hopefully by some fluke this will be something that just goes viral, and the message will start to have an impact and change the whole world and improve all of our lives. Bye for now. I'll give you a quick panoramic view of where I'm at because it's kind of beautiful here. Bye for now. There it is. Got it.